Hey Taurus, welcome to September 2019. For you this month, I'm pulling animal spirit cards because we love them. And this month I pulled for you Dragonfly. Dragonfly is the keeper of the illusion. To me, ugh, okay, so like basically, Dragonfly like kind of is the kind of gatekeeper of between realms, right? Like, I think they can fly in between dreams and our waking reality, like, pretty effortlessly. And I think the message here is, like, also, like, a lot of this could be, like, I think Dragonfly to me, like, appears particularly in between, like, death and life. Like, kind of like they're like that bridge. The bridge between dreams, the bridge between, whatever is next, if it's nothingness or something, like they're still kind of basically Dragonfly saying like you don't know what you don't know. Um and that everything is always changing and shifting. I listened to Russell Brand recently. I don't know why, but I did. And he was saying in terms of like romantic partnership, how can you have the one when you are always constantly changing and shifting and there is no you? The person I am today, at the age that I'm at, is very, 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 very different than the person I was 19 years ago. We are not the same person in many respects. There's like core parts of ourselves I think that never change, like that we're like that used to keep with us for our whole lives, but our perspectives are certainly always changing. Our understanding of events, of what we want, of what matters, of who's important, or even just relationships change, right? Like, we can really love someone, but just inevitably grow apart from people. And so, what Dragonfly is saying, sometimes we can grow apart from people and we think, oh, that's done. Like, we have nothing in common anymore. I love them, but like, we're not giving anything to each other's lives. And Dragonfly saying, like, you don't know. Like, you just don't know what the future holds. You don't know what the story is. And you don't always even know what your present is. You might think in this present moment, like, oh, so and so is blah, blah, blah. But you don't know. You don't totally ever fully know, like, what's causing that behavior, or if there's, like, some part of the story that you don't know that clarifies why this person's being that way. I don't really know fully what's going on with you, but I just feel like Dragonfly is kind of, this has come up again, like just sitting with the questions. It came up in another reading, but like the Rilke quote, just be okay with the questions. Be okay with uncertainty. Be okay with like accepting that you don't know everything and that you can't know everything. Whoa. Okay, this feels like a lot. I'm not taking it. So, okay, let's take these. We got the Lovers. We got the Chariot. We got the Star. We got the Ace of Wands. Oh, Ace of Pentacles. This is all beautiful energy. What else? Anything else? Meep. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So, it's all really just positive. I feel Chariot and the Lovers that you are moving forward in a new direction, probably with your partner. And I'm thinking of the song Que Sera Sera. And it's like, will we have rainbows day after day? And it's like, Que Sera Sera. I feel like you're in a partnership, probably, and I feel like this has to do with an external person. And I feel like there's like forward movement with this person too. So you might be getting engaged, you might be getting married, or maybe you're getting into a relationship. And I think that, yeah, it just feels like there's a sense of you really going down a path with someone. And the Lovers, I guess, doesn't have to be romantic. probably is, but like it feels like you're you're kind of tied to someone now in a way that maybe you weren't before or aren't used to being. Because with because the Seven of Cups, I think that there is a little bit of an element of this. This is like you getting into a really vulnerable place too, because for us to really like co-create with someone, magician, this feels like you're co-creating a new life. I've pulled the magician for you before, and it's very powerful manifestation energy of you kind of creating your own reality. But now it feels like where you're learning is how to do that building and creating worlds with someone else kind of giving input. And it can, working with someone else in our lives, whether romantically or in just like our work, business, whatever it is, sometimes working with people can be much easier because it's like we're not having to do it all on our own, but sometimes it can still even be harder because there's conflict, disagreements. Like two people steering a car can be hard because you might want to go in different directions sometimes, or you might have different ideas about how to manifest things, and you might like kind of compromise is involved, right? It inevitably is. When you're moving forward with someone in your life on creating a new reality, I think sometimes there can be little disagreements that pop up. So while this is a beautiful, amazing energy that's like very positive for you, I think that there is just an element of like a little confusion, a little like, I don't know if you have like doubts about making the right choice about this partnership, but kind of like, where are we going? Are we going to be able to make this last? Are we going to be able to, like, are we going to hit bumps in the road? And again, like I said, this song, Que Sera Sera, well, we have rainbows day after day. And in Que Sera, it's like, well, Que Sera Sera. That's the Dragonfly. I think the Dragonfly is here to say, Que Sera Sera, man. Like, whatever will be, will be. And that definitely reflects, I think, with the Seven of Cups energy that's showing up for you, which is kind of you being on this new path with someone else, where you're creating this new reality, and you kind of being like, well, now that I'm working with someone else, I don't totally know that I can see where this is going. And I'm feeling a lot of feels, and it's like kind of getting me bringing up a little bit of shit for me about like conflict and how maybe, especially since you're a Taurus, oh my god, Taurus, you can be a little controlling. I mean, I think you're a fixed sign, right? So I mean, you just kind of are set in you're a fixed earth. So it's like you're grounded, and I think you just like really want things to be a certain way sometimes, and you really just, I mean, that's kind of how you're a counterpart to Scorpio, right? Like, you just really want things to be a certain way, and being on this path with someone else is opening you up to some vulnerability. And I'll bring this up. I'm just bringing up this in all my readings. Brené Brown has a quote about how the opposite of vulnerability is trying to control and predict everything. And with this coming up, it's like, especially you being a Taurus, maybe there's a little bit of an element of that, of you being like, God, I can't control or predict this. But I think the message for you is just, that's okay. You don't need to control or predict this relationship or where it's going or what it will be. And just lean into kind of co-creating your reality with your partner, because that's what's meant for you right now, is like, you are ultimately healing and growing and becoming kind of this new evolved version of yourself. This relationship, this situation that is challenging you also feels very healing to me. It feels very healing for me, for you as a Taurus, to kind of be in this really vulnerable space. I feel like this month is all about vulnerability for you. It's all about you kind of like having to let go a little bit of having it all under your jurisdiction, all under your control. That you are just having to go with the flow more and kind of go with the questions and really be present in such a way where you're not like anticipating everything and you're not guessing. I mean, it's super ironic, I think, for a tarot reader to say this, because tarot, I mean, don't we kind of watch these types of videos or like engage in this practice or craft to try to predict the future a little bit, or to like see ahead, or like to get clarity or guidance on like what's this gonna be? Is this gonna be okay? Because I think we want some sense of security, like the control. Really, the sense of wanting control arises from wanting a sense of security, of wanting to be able to like breathe. But really, you can breathe anywhere, anytime, without having any additional information. Just like literally just breathe and like just surrender to the Seven of Cups, surrender to the Dragonfly, surrender to the fact that you're on this new path with someone else, and that 50% of it is kind of like now not in your control. That your life is going to be what it will be, but also like different maybe than your preconceived notions. But it might be more beautiful as well. Like what you're co-creating with this person might be more beautiful than you could possibly imagine. But I think for you to be able to really build, and look what else showed up for you. Ace of Pentacles and Ace of Wands. So there's so much and like the Magician. There's so much like just kind of super awesome like manifestation, like potential, like seeds that you could be planting. This feels like you're building a whole new life, particularly with someone else. That like, it's kind of like this, like if we say like, oh, I want to meet my soulmate, I want to meet my soulmate, I want to meet my soulmate, blah blah blah. But then you do, and you're like, oh, okay, well now that I've met this fucking person, everything's changed. I'm changing, first of all, you're changing. And you're like, who am I becoming? I don't even know what this person's doing to me. And you're like, they're seeing things in you maybe that very few people have ever seen. And they're maybe calling you out on it. And it's causing you to grow and change. So like, we always want love and like whatever, but I think when it actually comes, it's like a chemical reaction, right? But it's literally that. And it's also like, you've been the color pink your whole life, and then blue comes in, and now, oh my god, you're becoming purple, and you're like, what the fuck? And the same is happening for the other person too. My point being, you're changing in ways that you cannot predict or understand or control. And you gotta be cool with that. You gotta just like write it out and be like, I don't know where this is going, but I have to just trust my intuition and be present with it and kind of accept it and know that ultimately this is healing, positive, and my highest good, and that the way that I can kind of like navigate it the best is by knowing that I am participating in it willingly, and that I'm in control of how I react and how I respond, and that there's mostly just beautiful abundance on the table. There's mostly just like creative potential and seeds that you can plant with this person probably to build something that you can't even dream maybe right now. I think a lot about how, like Instagram, for example. My 13-year-old self, if I told her about Instagram, she'd be like, what? What is that? I don't have any concept of what that even is. I don't know what a smartphone is, even. I'm old, so I know I don't look as old as I am, but my point is, whatever your future is, this dragonfly is saying, I think the dragonfly is saying, whatever it is, wherever you're going on this path with the chariot, with your person, you don't even know. Stop. Like, it's beautiful to be a planner, I guess, and to have direction in your life, but it's saying, like, how could you know when it's uncharted territory, when it's not even on a map? So all you can really do is trust and know that this is a healing connection, that, like, follow the North Star. Like, this to me also feels a little bit like, just trust your intuition that you're doing the right things. Like, that being with this person and kind of, like, navigating, it's like you're in the oceans sailing to Hawaii. They navigated through the stars. Use the stars to navigate this. You don't need to know the destination. You just need to, like, keep following these, like, glimpses of direction. You don't need to know the full story. And Ace of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, and the Magician, again, you are creating a reality. So kind of like it's a co-partnership with your partner, the universe, and you. You can be setting intentions. I feel like this is setting intentions of, like, it doesn't have to be money, but projects or what you want to be building. This is, like, not necessarily building the foundations, but just kind of understanding, like, even if I can't predict it, I know I want a house. I think I want a house. That's, I think, what this is. It's like, even if you don't know where you're going with this person and it's all very uncertain and kind of freaky, you can be like, I want to be, and also when you're setting intentions of what you want to be manifesting, I think it's great to be, like, not like, oh, I want a specific house on this street at this number. I think it could be like, I want a place that feels like home. I want a place that feels airy. I want a place that has a lot of light. I want a place that feels like I'm in a community. Like, kind of just being open to how that might unfold, but kind of knowing the inner feeling that you want to be moving towards. Again, and that's the star. You don't know where the house will be, but you know the inner feeling you want, so that way when you see it, you'll know. And then Ace of Wands, just, you know, you got magic. So you can kind of, like, breathe and, like, let go a little bit and be comfortable with the uncertainty, because you have this magic wand you can wave around a little bit. And that's maybe you just kind of being able to, like, trust yourself that whatever does come up in this dragonfly, like, uncertain realm of not knowing everything, that you have tools and powers and, like, intelligence, and just kind of also being physically willing to do the work to continue to deal with whatever does come your way. Like, you can trust yourself that you'll handle it all. So that's your reading for September. Beautiful, cool, weird, uncertain but beautiful building energies. And I'm wishing you all the best. And I look forward to seeing you in October. Bye.